Alright, Shalom. First off, give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakar Kadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring, in truth and sincerity, and the women and children who follow. So I just wanted to do this update, on different arenas in this World War III situation that we in. So, first thing I'm getting into a couple of these articles. I'm getting to some of these scriptures as well. But this is from RT.com. All right, dated from the 21st of July. It says trade war to accelerate decline of U.S. empire as China and India dominance grows. Dr. Doom, Mark Faber. All right, so it says U.S. U.S. influence on the global economy has been gradually falling, and emerging economies like China and India can overtake the U.S. as global leaders, according to Mark Faber, editor and publisher of the Gloom, Boom, and Doom Report. I'm going to have to subscribe to that. It says the U.S. as an empire against the rest of the world peaked in the 1950s or 60s. Then there have been other countries that have become more powerful, in particular China, and now increasingly India. And remember, both of these countries are BRICS nations. Okay, you got Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right, they're a conglomerate, just like NATO, but they also support each other financially. They have their own banks and all of that. So that's a part of them increasing in their stature when it comes to world industry. Because the U.S. empire and its influence on the world is diminishing and has been diminishing for quite some time. The trade, matter of fact, let me get that real quick, because that's important right there. This is Obadiah, verse 4. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord." And even in this article, it said that in the 50s and 60s, that's when America hit its peak, and it's been going down since then. Well, that's what the scripture just said, because it's talking about when they went to so-called outer space. All right, when they left this plane and tried to go to the next, that's when the Lord literally, started bringing them down. Okay, so when we keep reading this article, it says, he told RT the trade war may accelerate this mutation in the global economic balance, with other countries becoming more important and the U.S. less important. According to Faber, the U.S. is likely to be the biggest loser from the trade war it started. The winners in a real trade war will be everyone except the U.S. The Europeans will trade more with Asia, and the Asians will trade more with Europe than the U.S. There will be more trade between the emerging economies and China, and vice versa, Faber said. Another winner from the trade war will be Russia, since China will buy more resources from the country, while Moscow will buy more from Beijing, he said. So everybody's going to win in this scenario or situation. Everybody's going to win except for the U.S. Okay, because the U.S. is dependent on Chinese trades. Everything that you see is made in the U.S. The U.S. flag is made in the U.S. All your clothes are made in the U.S. I said in the U.S. The U.S. flag is made in China. All your clothes are made in China. Everything that we get, for the most part, is made in China. Okay, so if they're not having these relationships with China, or it's going to cost more to export here, or for them to send their stuff here, then they'll just ramp it up in other countries. Okay, make the deal a little bit sweeter for them, and then it makes sense. The U.S. stock market has thus far ignored the news about the global trade war, Faber notes. But if there is a trade war, it is not good for the global the global economic growth. The global economy is slowing down already. I think it would be a big mistake to go ahead with the trade war. It says the countries most exposed to the trade war in emerging markets are Brazil, Turkey, Argentina. Argentina, due to their fiscal problems, growing deficits, and weakened currencies amid large amounts of foreign debt. And then, like I said, even though Brazil would be affected by the trade war, it still can be brought back up with its alliance in the BRICS nations. So that's not as bad for them, but still, you know, is a cause and effect to everything. So that's just what it is. The global economy, financed by soaring debt in the last global crisis of 2008-2009, another recession is likely to come, but its shape is not yet known, according to the investor. It said, I'm going to read that again. With the global economy financed by soaring debt since the last global crisis of 2008-2009, another recession is likely to come. All right, since it mentioned that global debt, you know what we got to get. You know, it's the name of the channel, baby. So we're going to get this here. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against them, and a taunting proverb against them, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. And that's what America's done. All through the years, they've increased that which is not theirs. They've raped, robbed, and murdered the whole world. Okay, they put sanctions on people. They have unfair balances, you know, throughout the whole time of the country. So, you know, they're going to get what they got coming. Okay, it says, how long? How long are you going to keep doing that, man? The Most High is not going to let you, you know, keep fucking over everybody in the world, you know, for eternity. It says, and to him that laden himself with thick clay. That thick clay is Ibadia, which means debt. And this country is made on debt. All right? It has a debt-based income system or monetary system. Because for every dollar it makes, it has to pay back, you know, a certain amount of money. So if you make $10 and you got to pay back $20 for every $10 you make, you got to make an extra 10 just to pay back the first the first 20. But now you done created a whole another $20 that you got to pay back. So now you got to make another additional 20 to pay back that 20. Now you got to make 40 to pay back that 20. So it's just a snowball. That's the reason why we're trillions and trillions, I believe like 20 some odd trillion in debt that will never be able to get paid off. That's how you do that. Okay. Also, I'm going to get this. This is Ecclesiastes 12. And I'm going to start at, I'll start at 1. You know, we're going to get it in. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. So what it's saying is, you know, remember the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay, by Shem Kadash, while you young, man, while you still able. Not while you know, broke down, decrepit, and can't do his work. You know, he wants you in your sufficiency, man. That's why it says, you know, to lay your life down, to become a new man, to become a new creature. You know, that you can't put new wine in old bags, okay? While you still a fresh bag, while you can still hold wine, which is this word, while you can still, you know, receive knowledge before you get old and set in your ways, okay? Come back to the Lord. Nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right, you know, I don't have no pleasure in these days, man. I can't get up and, you know, I'm all broke down and I got arthritis and cancer, this, that, and the third. You know, he wants you when you're young and able. It says, while the sun or the light of the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. All right, that's why this wisdom and this knowledge is still out there to be gotten, okay? While you can still preach this word, teach this word, learn this word, and freely you have given, freely you receive, freely give. Okay, it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, okay, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. Now the keepers of the house that are trembling is talking about here in America. Okay, the authority figures here in America. And the strong men shall bow themselves. Alright, because you're going to have those armies that go over there to war. They're not going to come back, man. They're going to die. That's their fate. They're going to die. It's going to be a global nuclear war. A thermonuclear war. Okay? As well as a conventional war. You're going to have troops, actual troops, that are going to go over there and they're going to fucking die. And you're going to have real men, grown men, turn to bitches. It says, in the grinder cease, because they are few. Alright, you're going to have people losing jobs. Alright, that's what happens when you have a recession. And this trade war is contributing to the upcoming recession that's going to hit this place, man. Okay, we just read it right here. It's still on the screen. It says, and the door shall be and those that look out the window be darkened. Okay, that American dream that you can get your piece of the pie, okay, it's gonna be darkened. Like if you look out a window and you can clearly see like a rainbow or whatnot, you can see a beautiful view. Alright, that's gonna be darkened. It's gonna be shut down. You ain't gonna be able to build up a business here in America. You ain't gonna be able to prosper here in America. All that's gonna be shut down. It says, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low. That's like bandos, you know what I'm saying? Abandoned buildings, abandoned offices, things of that nature, everything's going to be shut down. When the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. And there's no need for a breakdown with that, man, with this trash-ass music that they got these days. So, we're going to go to this next article. Let me see. We're going to get to this one. Okay, this is also from RT. Same day, July 21st. It says, Iran Supreme Leader threatens to block all Gulf oil exports if its own aren't stopped. If its own are stopped. Okay? So, Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said that no country in the region will export oil if Iran's exports are stopped. The same threat was earlier voiced by President Hassan Rouhani. All right, speaking to Iranian ambassadors and senior diplomats on Saturday, Khamenei backed Rouhani's earlier warning to close the Strait of Hormuz, thus blocking all shipments from the Persian Gulf. And they did this before a few years back, and that Strait of Hormuz, it's the real deal right there, man. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Yeah, so right here, that's the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so anybody that wants to get oil from out of there, they have to go through that little that strait. Okay, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, Iraq. Okay, any one of those countries. Also, you have other countries further north and further west that all need to use that strait in order to get they exports out of there. Okay, they gonna shut it down. All right, that's a big deal because oil is the #1 export in that region. So if you can't get your oil out, then your economy is gonna start failing, and what are you gonna do? All right, that's gonna start war. And the Third World War, the Battle of Armageddon, is supposed to happen in that area. Okay, between the Red Sea and the Persian, or between the Red Sea and I believe it's the Euphrates River, if I'm right. It might be the Persian Gulf, but I believe it's the Euphrates River. I had to double check that, Slovakia. But let me see, where was I? It says these were important remarks that reflect Islamic Republic approach, and Ayatollah said, according to his official website, that he adds that Iran's foreign ministry must closely follow the approach. The statement comes in response to anti-Iran rhetoric by the U.S., which is currently pressing allies to cut off Iranian crude exports. So they don't want people to trade with Iran. You know, they got this whole big deal going with their nuclear program or whatnot, and Trump he's at a standstill with that. You know, he's not participating in anything, and he's pissing off all his allies in the process. Which that's also a part of with the last article about, you know, China trading with Europe and Europe trading with China. Okay, because Trump came out and he said that, you know, Germany doing all this business with Russia makes them an enemy. Well, if basically is them, you know, in bed with the enemy. But if you had the rest of these European nations doing deals with China, you know, you might as well come out and say that about them as well. That makes them enemies. This is getting kind of long in the tooth, so I'm gonna finish this article, and, you know, Lord's will, I'll do another video on the third article that I got. But it says the statement comes in response of anti-Iran rhetoric by the U.S., which is currently pressing allies to cut off Iranian crude exports. During a recent tour, a senior State Department official warned that those failing to reduce Iranian oil exports to zero by early November will face U.S. sanctions. So if you don't stop messing with them by November, if you don't find another source to get your oil from, then we're going to put sanctions on you. And sanctions is a declaration of war. Okay? It's the first declaration of war. Let's look that up real quick. A sanction is a threatened penalty for disobeying a law or a rule. A range of sanctions aimed at deterring insider abuse. Official permission or approval for an action. All right. Give an official permission or approval for an action. All right. See, I ain't had to finish. Sanctions is a declaration of war, and it brings up all these different articles that show you how sanctions are a declaration of war. You know, back from 2016, some earlier in 2018, 2017. That's what sanctions are. They're a declaration of war. Okay. Tehran and Washington have been exchanging threats since the latter sought to rip apart the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, what I was just referred to. However, while the U.S. pulled out of the agreement, other countries did not follow suit and condemned the move, vowing to keep the agreement without the support of Washington. I mean, I'm going to get this precept real quick. Y'all bear with me. Yeah, this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none in understanding in him. All right, that's talking about all your friends that you've been sitting down and you've been eating with, you know, all these years, which is NATO, you know, the EU, all these guys. They're not going to be friends with you no more. And these two articles is proving that, man. It's proving it, like I said, with the Iran deal. The U.S. is on one side, Europe is on the other side. The trade war, U.S. is on one side, it's looking like Europe is going to be on the other side. So, you know, people don't go to the losing side of a war. If you're going to join a war, you're not going to join the losing side, more than likely. You're not going to want to say, okay, well, they're getting their ass totally beat, you know, but we got to pick a side. Let's go get on the side that's getting their ass totally beat, especially when economically it makes more sense to get on the winning side because they can do more for you. And number two, well, that's really number one is, you know, it's the Lord's algorithm. It's the way that the Lord set it up. But, you know, carnally here on in this life, you know, you're not going to join the losing side, especially when they've been fucking you over. And the winning side, you know, had your back. You're going to join that winning side. So with that being said, you know, I hope you brothers were edified. You know, this war, these prophecies, they're approaching. They're coming fast. Just, you know, be steadfast. Be diligent. You know, keep doing what you got to do in this truth to get out of here, man. All right? We almost out of here. And, you know what I'm saying? Call all to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai by Shem Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect. All the brothers across the four corners who are enduring. And truth and sincerity in the women and children who follow. Shalom.